In the CEO's office, the atmosphere was tense. John threw a check at Sophia.
This is 10 million. Emily is back in the country. She doesn't like you, so you can leave now.
Sophia picked up the check from the table, confirmed the amount, and then put it in her pocket.
I thought you were different from others, but it seems you're just the same.
Mr. John, you're too kind. Oh, by the way, please write a gift statement. Thank you, Mr. John. It was a pleasure working with you.
She waved her hand and happily walked out of his office. John's face turned dark. Her principle was that one should never refuse money. After completing the resignation procedures and returning home, Sophia took out some essential oil and dabbed it around her eyes. Her eyes turned red, and tears started falling like broken pearls. After crying for a while, when no more tears would come, she got up and fetched a large basin to collect all the pearls that had fallen on the floor. She was a mermaid from the deep sea, and her tears turned into pearls. 4 years ago, she came ashore to the human world for the first time. Her current goal was to collect 9,999 pearls. As she was counting the pearls she had saved over the past 4 years, her phone rang. Without looking, she answered the call.
What do you want?
John's voice came through the receiver.
Sophia, I dismissed you because keeping you around would make Emily misunderstand us, so you?
Was he explaining himself to her? Did he think she would be sad and upset? Sophia hung up the phone with a blank expression. Then she deleted and blocked all his contact information. Peace at last. But just a few minutes later, Alice sent her a message on WeChat.
Lily, check out Weibo. John is such an idiot, I'm speechless.
Alice was a good friend Sophia met in the human world, a talent agent. She tried to get Sophia into the entertainment industry but failed, and they ended up becoming close friends. Things developed in an unexpected way. It all started when John called me on video. He didn't disconnect the screen mirroring, and it was projected onto the company's electronic screen, which someone captured and posted on Weibo. Now the entire internet was filled with insults directed at me. I studied the photo carefully. At that moment, I had just finished shedding pearls, and the essential oil's potency had made my eyes red, making it look like I had been crying. At the same time, David posted an Instagram story.
They say you shouldn't meet someone too stunning when you're young, or else everyone else will seem like a compromise. I hope we never settle.
The picture was of her and John holding hands 3 years ago. David has been abroad for the past few years and has become quite a social media influencer. Her domestic fans recognized John in the photo and reposted the Instagram story on Weibo. Then some well-meaning individuals shared the story of their enviable love, how David had once saved John's life, and how John fell in love with her at first sight. So, as someone who had been rumored to be involved with John, I was now being vilified by netizens.
If Emily hadn't gone abroad for further studies, she wouldn't have broken up with John. They were each other's true love, and Sophia is just a shameless homewrecker.
How dare she cry to Mr. John? Does she think he would feel sorry for her?
But I don't understand. If John likes Emily, why didn't he clarify the rumors with Sophia earlier? And pursuing someone during a breakup is normal. Don't misuse terms and label someone a homewrecker.
Ridiculous, even homewreckers have supporters now. What kind of people are defending Sophia? The homewrecker must be really desperate.
Those who spoke up for me were attacked so badly that no one dared to defend me anymore. It was such a coincidence that David posted her story at this exact moment.
I heard David plans to enter the entertainment industry now that she's back.
So she was using me to create buzz for herself? I couldn't tolerate that. I took out my phone and quickly typed a response on Weibo.
Experts say it's not advisable to pick up discarded shoes, and a good former boss should stay quietly in the grave and not suddenly come back to life.
Because of my extremely sarcastic response, I completely enraged David and John's fans, adding fuel to my infamy despite not being in the entertainment industry. While the internet was in an uproar, I packed up and returned to my underwater hometown, bringing up all the pearls I had accumulated. As soon as I surfaced, Alice called.
Lily, the director of that dating show, invited you to join. Do you want to go?
What dating show?
The one John and David are going to be on. There were rumors about it before. Didn't you see?
Is the director crazy? Given the current situation online, how could it make sense for me to be on the same dating show as those two?
That's not the point. The point is the director said you can name your price. As long as you're willing to join.
Wow, what kind of investor is this, so generous?
I looked at the box of pearls I had just brought up, feeling a bit conflicted. I wasn't exactly short on money.
The director sent me the guest list for this dating show. It's confidential, but I'll send it to you. Take a look. Besides those two, the other guests are pretty good. It would be foolish not to make money.
This money is hard to earn, and dealing with those two is unpleasant. Maybe I shouldn't go. I'll go.
Didn't you say dealing with those two was unpleasant?
Who would turn down money? They don't matter.
Alice gave a thumbs-up emoji. The dating show was recorded using a popular mix of live and pre-recorded segments. The guest list provided to me was confidential, even among the guests themselves. We could only guess based on hints given by the production team. For example, John and David's couple name makeup was easily guessed by fans. There were also rumors that I would participate, which led to a lot of negative comments online. The other three couples had already made their appearances in the live stream. They were David and John's makeup couple, the popular actress Grace and top star Ethan's blossoming couple, and the middle-aged actor and actress couple. While other guests were welcomed with flowers and blessings, the comments were full of insults when it was my turn.
Sophia really dared to come, huh?
Why invite a homewrecker to a dating show? It's disgusting.
To be fair, Sophia's face is stunning in the entertainment industry. David looks plain next to her.
Our Emily is a natural beauty, while Sophia is just a plastic surgery-enhanced seductress. There's no comparison.
The host chatted with me briefly before moving on to the next part. There was still one more guest after me. Thinking about the glimpse I caught through the car window earlier, I felt a surge of excitement.
The next guest on Love With You. Wow, this guest is impressive. Although he's a newcomer, he's one of the few people I think could be a legend in his field. He recently returned to the country, and let me tell you, he's very handsome. Mr. John definitely knows him.
Wow, such high praise. Who could it be?
Stop teasing us.
To my surprise, even John didn't know Michael was participating in the show. When Michael walked in with his casual stride, there were gasps both on and off the set.
Oh my gosh, it's Michael.
Who's Michael? Someone explain.
Look him up online. He's a big shot in the venture capital world, has his own company, and reached his position without using family money. He's also the heir to the Shun family.
Good family background, handsome, and independent. John suddenly seems less appealing.
Such an outstanding man joining a dating show? And he's single.
Could it be that he's here for someone specific? Don't be ridiculous. Everyone else is paired up. He can't be here for Sophia, right? Even if he is, Sophia better be careful. A big shot like him wouldn't be interested in a homewrecker.
John clearly didn't know Michael was coming. After his initial shock, he went straight up and put an arm around Michael's shoulder, patting him enthusiastically.
Hey, buddy, why didn't you tell me you were coming? Is Aunt Sue pressuring you to find someone?
I perked up my ears to eavesdrop. It turned out that Michael hadn't dated anyone in the 3 years he was abroad. Michael's reaction was much colder than John's. He removed John's arm.
No.
Then why?
John didn't mind Michael's coldness, as he was used to it. I wasn't sure if it was my imagination, but Michael glanced in my direction. But it must have been a mistake. I wasn't familiar with him at all. Michael didn't answer, walking straight over to stand beside me. As fellow amateurs, we were in a limited romantic relationship.
Long time no see.
I didn't expect Michael to speak to me first. My heart skipped a beat, and I quickly replied.
Long time no see.
It had indeed been a long time. I had only seen him in the first few months when I was John's secretary, and then he went abroad.
What's going on? Does Michael know Sophia? Seems like it. Oh my gosh, this couple looks so good together. I'm shipping them. Are you crazy? Don't forget why Sophia is here. She's clinging to John while getting close to his good friend. Disgusting.
John also realized something was wrong. He looked at me, then at Michael beside me, his face darkening.
Sophia, Michael is my brother. You better behave yourself.
Oh.
Behave? That's impossible. The host started the program.
Spring is not late, lovers build their nests. Our show has prepared love cabins for the 4 couples. Now, let's invite our male guests to the Lotus Pond. The gentlemen will compete to win the right to choose first for their partners.
Haha, making the CEO and the stars dig for lotus roots. This will be fun.
Everyone else is fine, but why should Michael compete for that woman? Michael doesn't mind, so why are some fans getting upset?
Michael indeed had no objections. He was the first to put on the waterproof gear provided by the show, looking like he was walking in a fashion show despite the rustic outfit. Although the others were somewhat resistant, they didn't show it on their faces. The host also assigned tasks to the female guests, who had to complete them to get lunch ingredients. Grace's task was to feed the chickens, the actress had to water the vegetable garden, and my task was to catch fish. Everyone looked at David. His face turned pale as he flipped over his task card.
Clean the pigsty.
Why give such a dirty task to a fairy? The show must be rigged, bullying David because he's new. John has already elevated her to the top of the company. Wake up, David just has bad luck.
The tasks were drawn blindly. Even though John was an investor in the show, he couldn't openly give David special treatment. I imagined David in a white fairy dress cleaning a pigsty and laughed as I ran to the fish pond.
I didn't want to laugh, but Sophia's laughter is so infectious, I can't help it.
Hilarious. Sophia has been criticized for so long, mostly thanks to David. She's openly enjoying his misfortune. I believe she's innocent now.
I arrived at the fish pond, almost losing the cameraman because I ran too fast.
Miss Sophia, you haven't put on the wading gear.
I was only holding a red plastic bucket for fish and paused at his words.
Do I have to get in the water?
Technically, your task is to catch 3 fish to complete it.
That's easy, no need to get in the water.
I squatted by the pond and submerged the plastic bucket in the water.
Sophia doesn't think she can catch fish like that, does she?
Clearly has no common sense, just loves to show off.
To make it less obvious, I waited for 5 minutes. When the time was up, I lifted the plastic bucket, and under the camera, 3 lively fish swam inside.
Holy cow! Is this for real?
I just switched to another stream for a second. What happened? Can someone tell me this isn't real?
I'm not a fan of anyone, just stayed in Sophia's stream because she's pleasant to look at. I can testify, the camera never cut, and she really caught the fish herself.
Forgive my ignorance, is Sophia a reincarnated Lucky Charm?
Hashtag Sophia Lucky Charm hashtag became the first organically trending topic from the dating show. Catching fish was supposed to be the hardest of the 4 tasks, and the director didn't expect me to finish it in 5 minutes. In the end, I got the most abundant cooking ingredients. David, who refused to do the task because he found the pigsty dirty, got the least. Among the men, Michael dug up the most lotus roots within the time limit, while John, who fell in the lotus pond and had to leave to change clothes, came in last. I happily chose the most luxurious and comfortable of the 4 small houses. Since we were in the countryside, they were all small wooden houses with only 1 room each. But at least ours had a private kitchen and bathroom.
The show is serious, giving Mr. John such a shabby house. Aren't they afraid of angering the investors?
This director is something else. This reality show is really showing reality.
Michael and I arrived at our luxurious small house, and the kitchen was fully equipped.
I poured the fish I caught into the cement pool outside. The fish catching task, being the hardest, had a perk: we could handle the fish ourselves. If the live stream showed a scene of fish being gutted, it would definitely cause panic, right?
Let me do it.
His voice was low and pleasant, and as he approached, his breath was fresh, like an iceberg on the sea, with a mix of cold air and sea salt. A bit intoxicating. I made room for him, and he rolled up his pants, his shirt sleeves pushed to his elbows, revealing long and strong forearms. As a mermaid, I naturally admire strength, so I liked strong bodies like Michael's. I silently looked away, forcing myself not to stare at his abs. Sigh, this selective X-ray vision of mermaids can be quite embarrassing. I originally thought Michael, like me, couldn't cook and only took on the task of cleaning the fish out of gentlemanly manners. But when he efficiently and gracefully cleaned a fish, I was stunned.
How do you know how to clean a fish?
Someone like him, a distinguished gentleman and a top industry leader, actually knew how to clean a fish.
Not all fish.
Huh?
Living abroad for a long time, I couldn't get used to the food, so I learned to cook for myself.
Wow, you're amazing. Not only can you clean fish, but you can also cook.
Michael's previously calm expression turned slightly red at the ears because of my words.
Studying abroad, I totally get it. I couldn't cook at first, but after a month of sandwiches and burgers, I had to learn. Home-cooked food is the best.
So even top executives are just like us ordinary people.
Did I see that right? Michael's ears turned red? This is hilarious. The big boss is so innocent, his ears turned red just from a compliment from Sophia. Michael took on the task of cooking, so I helped by washing vegetables and doing other small tasks. Since the other 3 small houses didn't have kitchens, there was only 1 large stone stove, which was difficult to use for those unfamiliar with it. Plus, 3 couples had to share it. The actor and actress couple got the ingredients first, so they used the stove first, and the other 2 groups had to wait. Grace came over to ask if they could use the kitchen after us.
Sophia, can we use the kitchen after you're done?
I'll discuss it with Michael.
I went to discuss it with Michael.
Michael, Grace, and Ethan asked if we could lend them the kitchen after we're done.
I don't mind. It's up to you. I'll go along with whatever you decide.
I thought about it. 3 fish were too much for just the 2 of us, and even if we could keep them and eat them slowly, we'd get tired of them after a few days. On the first day of the show, having a meal together would help everyone get to know each other better. I shared my thoughts with Michael, and he still had no objections, saying it was up to me.
I'm suddenly really liking this couple. Michael is so considerate.
When Michael said, "I'll go along with whatever you decide," it was so affectionate. I invited Grace and Ethan to join us for dinner, and they were both surprised and delighted.
Really? We don't have many ingredients.
It's fine. Michael and I can't finish everything either, and we made fish. Let's all have a taste.
That's great. Thank you so much. We can help with some simple dishes too.
I also invited the actor and actress couple, but since their meal was almost ready, they politely declined after expressing their thanks. Despite my reluctance, I still went to the makeup couple's small house, as I had to maintain appearances. Is Sophia suggesting a group meal just to get a chance to be around John? Nice try, but Sophia's disdain is written all over her face. Haha, Sophia is good at keeping up appearances. Maybe skip it next time. Everyone else was preparing dinner, except for John and David, who were still in their small shabby room. I might have come at the wrong time, as I happened to see the two of them through the window, in the middle of a Cold War. To be precise, it was David throwing a tantrum while John was trying hard to appease her.
Don't be mad. This place may be a bit shabby, but it's still livable, isn't it? Besides, we're only here for 2 days. Just bear with it.
Not even for a day. I can't stand sleeping in such a poor countryside place, like a peasant.
Then what do you want me to do?
Why don't you talk to the director and ask if we can stay in a hotel at night, or swap rooms with Sophia and Michael?
John looked troubled. Because of their previous argument, John had blocked the camera in the room and turned off the audio. But they never expected me to show up suddenly, and coincidentally, I brought a cameraman with me. Their conversation was captured in full. As someone currently enjoying a countryside vacation, I feel offended. What's wrong with the countryside? Aren't your ancestors from rural areas? David, what are you being so high and mighty about? I have no feelings for David. John is her boyfriend, and it's fine to invest in a show to promote her, but since they're here, they should follow the rules. Otherwise, it's unfair to everyone else. What did Sophia and Michael do to her? They earned their luxury room fair and square. She thinks she can just swap it? I can hear her scheming all the way from Beijing. Sophia must be trying to sabotage our dear David. Come on, David thought of it herself. No one forced her to say it. Honestly, I didn't plan to make things difficult for David on the show. This encounter was purely accidental. But since she targeted me, she can't blame me for retaliating. I leaned against the window and knocked on the slightly open glass. Excuse me. The sudden noise made both of them look over. David's face changed dramatically when she saw the cameraman behind me.
What are you doing here?
Michael and I wanted to invite everyone for dinner. Are you coming?
Realizing I wasn't there specifically for him, John's expression softened a bit, but he still looked displeased. Just as he was about to nod, David tugged at his sleeve.
No need. John and I will cook for ourselves. Thanks for the offer, Miss Sophia.
Oh, I don't know if David can cook, but John definitely can't. It's just as well they don't come. I don't want to deal with them anyway.
All right then. By the way, Ms. David, if you haven't forgotten, I no longer work as a secretary. If you want to address me by my title, you can call me Miss Sophia.
I may have resigned from my secretary position, but I'm still a shareholder of Huiwei. As a contracted artist of Huiwei, it's reasonable for David to call me that. With that, I turned and left gracefully. I didn't care about David's reaction. Michael cooked just enough food for everyone, and by the end, there was only a bit of fish head left. Sophia had just dumped the leftovers into Buddy's bowl when she saw John dragging a displeased-looking David towards their small house.
We accidentally burned our food. Do you have any extra?
David's expression made it clear how unwilling he was. Sophia leisurely pointed to Buddy, who was happily eating.
Bad timing. I just fed the dog the leftovers.
David's face turned red with anger.
Sophia, if you don't want to help, just say so. Why insult us?
What do you mean?
If you have a problem with me, just say it. Don't imply that we're worse than a dog.
Not only did Sophia find this ridiculous, but even the audience couldn't stand it.
Seriously, what's David being so dramatic about? Sophia was just stating a fact. If he misunderstood, that's on him.
They didn't come when invited, and now they act all high and mighty when they need help. Never seen beggars acting like kings.
Saying they're worse than a dog isn't wrong. Michael, who's also from abroad, learned to cook despite being busy. David's cooking isn't even fit for a dog. The disparity among humans is real.
Sophia couldn't help laughing.
If that's how you want to see it, I won't stop you.
Enough, Sophia. If you have a grudge, take it out on me. Emily has nothing to do with this, and I warned you not to bother us again.
Sophia tried to hold back but couldn't.
Fine, Mr. John, you asked for it. Don't blame me for not sparing your feelings.
What are you talking about?
John, you idiot! You're a brainless, arrogant fool with a face bigger than a dog's bowl. And you have the nerve to call me? Who's the brainless one here? I quit, and you still video call me and broadcast it to the whole company? Even a pig wouldn't do that. I'm being nice by not holding you accountable. Bother you? I'd rather play a song for you called The Distant Bagpipes.
After her rant, the air went silent.
Sophia's rant was epic.
Can I borrow Sophia's words to deal with my annoying relatives?
So, the rumors about Sophia calling John to cry were obviously false.
John's face turned ashen from Sophia's scolding.
You.
What do you mean you? Have some self-respect. If you want to defend your girlfriend, find a suitable occasion. I'm not here to play. A smart ex-boss would have moved on by now, but you're still lingering like a ghost.
John left, speechless and angry, with David glaring at Sophia before following him. Sophia patted Buddy's head and turned to go inside, only to find Michael standing at the door.
How long have you been there?
Since you called John an idiot.
Okay, fine. The world is against me.
The program team gave us a 2-hour lunch break at noon, and I followed Michael into the room.
I'll sleep on the couch, you take the bed.
I glanced at the double bed in the bedroom. There was no need for that, it was spacious enough for 2 people.
It's fine, the bed is big enough for both of us.
Michael was momentarily stunned, then gave a low
What? You should be secretly happy to share a bed with your wife, Michael. Your ears are turning red.
Michael turned even redder. Since we needed to rest, I found a piece of clothing to cover the camera in the bedroom. Michael and I each slept on one side of the bed, with a considerable distance between us. After a while, I couldn't help but turn over and look at Michael's straight back for a long time until he also turned over, and we faced each other.
I don't usually curse. Unless I can't help it.
Michael instantly burst into laughter. It was the first time I had seen him laugh so happily.
I know! Sleep, don't think about those irrelevant people.
Oh.
In the live broadcast room, although there was no picture, the audio was still on.
What can't my VIP membership see?
What are the little couple whispering about behind our backs?
We're all insiders here, no need to be so distant.
The lunch break felt like sand slipping through fingers, short and elusive. Just as everyone woke up, the director urged us to start the tasks.
Director, you can't keep tormenting us like this. We just finished so much work this morning.
The afternoon tasks are not many, and you don't need to cook dinner yourselves. The program team will provide it.
Maybe John said something to the director, and the program team changed the plan. Otherwise, we might not have had a proper meal until the end of the show. But the change was good, no need to cook ourselves. The program team replaced the male host with a new female host, reportedly because the male host had some issues and was urgently replaced.
The green hills stretch for miles, the bright sun shines. The tea farmers are busy picking spring tea. Guests, please help the tea farmers pick spring tea and enjoy the springtime with your partners.
The 4 groups of guests were assigned to 4 tea farmers' tea gardens to help. After a simple training session, we basically mastered the skills of picking tea and headed up the mountain with our baskets. Coincidentally, Michael and I were assigned to a tea garden adjacent to John's group. We were on the same path and couldn't avoid each other. David had apparently checked the trending topics during the lunch break. Now the internet was full of people criticizing her, and even though her agency tried to control the damage, it wasn't very effective. David's manager must have said something to her. Despite her reluctance, she came over to apologize to me.
Miss Sophia, I'm sorry. I was too concerned about John this morning, so my attitude towards you wasn't good.
All right, I heard you.
I put on a straw hat. Although the tea garden had trees to block the sun, some areas were still exposed. This time, it was John's turn to be dissatisfied.
Emily has already apologized to you. What's with your attitude?
What attitude do you want from me? Should I kneel and say I forgive you? John, if your brain is filled with seawater, shake it, and you'll hear the waves.
John was stunned by the scolding. I quickly pulled Michael's sleeve and walked into the tea garden. The sooner we finished, the sooner we could have dinner.
Ha ha ha. If your brain is filled with seawater, shake it, and you'll hear the waves. Sophia is so good at scolding people.
Exactly. David's apology is basic courtesy, but no one is obligated to forgive her.
We're all in the program together and have to record for a long time. Sophia doesn't need to be so unforgiving.
Right. The Notre Dame burned down, so all the saints came to the live broadcast room.
The spring afternoon was still a bit warm. I tied my light spring jacket around my waist and carried a small tea basket in front of me, starting to pick tea leaves. I picked more so that Michael could pick less. I didn't mind the hard work, but he had already done a lot today. So we focused on picking tea, without any conversation. It wasn't until Michael grabbed my arm and pulled me to the side that I snapped out of my tea-picking trance.
What's wrong?
Michael's tea basket was also quite full. He reached out as if to wipe my sweat, then thought better of it and took a handkerchief from his pocket, handing it to me.
Wipe your sweat. The handkerchief is clean. There's no rush, we still have time.
I realized I had unknowingly moved into the sunlight. Our mermaid tribe has some unique traits. Although I can live out of water now, when the sun is too strong, a protective layer of water forms on my skin, which humans mistake for sweat. I took the handkerchief, which smelled of pine and ink bamboo. It's rare to see someone carry a handkerchief these days. I hesitated to use it to wipe my sweat. But in the end, I dabbed the water droplets on my forehead. Michael had already taken my place and continued picking tea. When I looked down, I saw John below us in the tea garden, glaring at me with a dark expression. Damn idiot! I ignored him, and his face grew even darker.
Miss Sophia's disdain for the idiot is obvious. Mr. Michael immediately pulled Lily into the shade when he saw her in the sun. Even though these two are silently picking tea without any interaction, CP fans are thrilled, knowing they are thinking of each other, picking more so the other can pick less. That idiot John isn't caring for David, just staring at Lily.
By not even 3:30 p.m., Michael and I had picked the required amount for the show, and much more, helping the tea farmers significantly. After weighing the tea, we received funds from the show and could go to town to shop and eat.
Michael, hurry up. I've been wanting to try the town specialty since this morning. If we're late, it'll be sold out.
I pressed my straw hat down and ran down the hill, looking back to see Michael still walking leisurely. I quickly ran back to pull him along.
Michael didn't mind his disheveled appearance from being pulled, looking helpless yet inexplicably indulgent. All right.
Holding hands is basically like getting married. CP fans are going crazy. Don't mind me, I'm welding the car door shut. No one is getting off this ship. This is what spring lovers should look like, sweet but not cloying. Watching this makes me want to find a springtime lover too.
The show provided us with ample funds, so Michael and I wandered around the town, eating and drinking to our heart's content before heading back. Upon returning to the small house, we discovered that the director had played a trick on us. No wonder he suddenly gave us so much money. It was meant to cover tomorrow's meals as well. I rummaged through my pockets and pulled out the remaining $3.50. I looked at the director in disbelief.
Director pretended not to see.
Don't panic if you run out of funds. As long as the couple accepts the challenges from the show and completes the tasks, they can earn more money.
We had no choice but to accept the challenge. The host presented a wall of tasks and asked us to pick one. Whatever we picked, we had to do. I let Michael pick. The host picked up the card, glanced at it, and burst into laughter.
This is impressive. Mr. Michael, with his golden touch, picked the task with the highest reward.
I felt uneasy. What is it?
The Heartbeat Challenge! Both partners must perform an action that makes the other's heart rate exceed 200 beats per minute to succeed. The reward is $1,000.
$1,000 was a lot for a day's expenses in this town. This task might be easier for real couples, but Michael and I were just a temporary pair.
Mr. Michael's golden touch is really something. Now, he can get close to his wife. Hurry up, kiss already.
I was at a loss. Do you want to go first, or should I?
You go first.
Me? How? I awkwardly walked up to Michael, catching a glimpse of the comments urging me to be bold with him. My mind went blank, and I suddenly pushed him against the wall, standing on tiptoe to press my lips against his pale pink ones. Our eyes met. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Thump, 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 I couldn't tell whose heartbeat was so loud.
It's over 200! Michael's heart rate has exceeded 200. Lily, that's enough! If you keep going, we'll have to call an ambulance for Michael.
They really kissed. Sophia, you're my hero. This couple is real. They actually kissed for us. Call an ambulance, seriously.
I quickly let go, licking my lips and apologizing. Sorry, I just lost my mind for a moment.
Eichel's face was unnaturally red, but he still pretended to be calm.
It's okay, I don't mind.
The host looked at us with a knowing smile.
Now it's Michael's turn. What will he do?
Suppressing my earlier excitement, I whispered to him, just pretend I can. Michael suddenly cupped my face and kissed me back, taking control. The second half of my sentence, I can control my heartbeat, was swallowed.
Oh my, Lily's heart rate monitor has maxed out. Lily, are you okay?
When Michael pulled away, his lips brushed against mine, and he said with a faint smile.
Returning the favor.
Returning the favor. Just admit you wanted to kiss more. Michael, you really know how to return the favor.
I covered my flushed face. Because a mermaid's heartbeat is different from a human's, I couldn't control it. Through my fingers, I saw Michael still looking at me, so I quickly covered my face again. After completing the challenge, we turned to find John and David behind us, unnoticed.
John, Tone, Angry our makeup team is really sorry. We didn't complete the tea picking task within the allotted time, so we need to complete an additional challenge to get the funds.
John walked past Michael, his voice a whisper.
John, Tone, serious, don't be fooled by that woman, Sophia. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Michael, Tone, indifferent, I know what I want.
Ah, the downside of having excellent hearing. Back at the cabin that evening, I took a shower first. Michael went in after me. I lay on the bed with a book, turning sharply as I heard a click behind me. Michael emerged, wearing only shorts, his upper body bare. His broad shoulders, narrow waist, and pale skin were glistening with water droplets. I heard myself swallow.
Michael, Tone, sorry, I'm used to this at home and forgot to put on a shirt.
As he moved to get his shirt, I jumped up and ran to cover the camera. No way was I letting anyone else see this. The live chat misunderstood our actions.
Live chat tone, cheerful, what do you mean by not wearing anything? What aren't you wearing? Sophia, be brave and turn the camera back on. Live chat tone, cheerful, if you're a true sister, share with us. Live chat tone, friendly, everyone, let's give the couple some privacy. Sophia, if you can't hold back, just be loud. Only my dog is watching the live stream. Live chat tone, cheerful sister above, your pants are falling.
Michael and I lay on the bed, the live stream already turned off. For some reason, I was more nervous than at noon. I turned over, and Michael wasn't asleep either.
Michael, Tone, friendly can't sleep?
Sophia, Tone, shy a little.
The double bed wasn't very big, and I could clearly feel the heat from his body. His presence always made me a bit dizzy. I shifted my position.
Michael, Tone, hopeful want to talk?
Even with the lights off, I could see his lips moving.
Sophia, Tone, shy, what do you want to talk about?
Michael, Tone, serious about you and John?
I didn't expect him to ask that. I didn't want him to misunderstand that I was here because of John.
Sophia, Tone, serious, there's nothing between John and me. You know that. I'm just his secretary. Inevitably, we attend many events together for work, and people assume we have an inappropriate relationship. Those rumors are all false. John has always liked David. I wouldn't lower myself to be a third wheel.
Michael, Tone, relieved, yeah, you wouldn't.
I don't know if it was my imagination, but his tone seemed lighter. As we talked, we got closer. Michael's lips were now less than an inch from mine. His breath mingled with mine, and I couldn't resist the temptation. I leaned in and kissed him. Michael's body stiffened for a moment before he quickly flipped over, pinning me down. He took control, his actions rough yet gentle, urgent yet lingering. My mind was hazy, with no other thoughts. I just liked him like this. Well, it's not surprising for two adults to be alone in a room and for something to happen, right? The tension was palpable as I faced John, the man who had caused me so much grief.
What do you want?
Owen's expression softened inexplicably.
Sophia, I dismissed you because keeping you around would make Emily misunderstand us, so you?
Was he explaining himself to me? Did he think I would be sad and upset? I hung up the phone with a blank expression. Then I deleted and blocked all his contact information. Peace at last. But just a few minutes later, Alice sent me a message on WeChat.
Lily, check out Weibo. John is such an idiot, I'm speechless.
Alice is a good friend I met in the human world, a talent agent. She tried to get me into the entertainment industry but failed, and we ended up becoming close friends. Michael sank too quickly. As soon as I entered the water, I transformed into my mermaid form, swiftly catching up to him and holding him.
Michael! Michael!
I anxiously patted his face. He had briefly lost consciousness from the impact on his forehead and didn't respond.
Without thinking, I pressed my lips to his, prying open his teeth to give him oxygen.
Michael, wake up. Don't scare me.
After a moment, I felt a gentle bite on my lips. Before I could react, he began to kiss me back. Michael finally opened his eyes slowly, focusing on kissing me. Kissing underwater made my pheromones surge uncontrollably, and I couldn't help but wrap my tail around his leg. In the heat of the moment, Michael's fingers brushed against my mermaid tail, gently caressing it. My tail. I snapped back to reality and pulled away. Oh no, I forgot to change back. I nervously looked at Michael, but he seemed unfazed by my transformation. His fingers tenderly traced the colorful scales of my mermaid tail.
Lily, you're beautiful.
The ocean seemed to hear my heartbeat, waves surging towards us. An hour later, the live broadcast resumed. The guests sat together, and Michael's forehead wound was already bandaged. He took the initiative to explain in the live broadcast.
Lily and I are fine. John pushed me because of post-traumatic stress. 4 years ago, he almost drowned in the sea. I don't blame him, and I hope everyone stops fueling the rumors.
John's face was ashen, looking at Michael with words unspoken. Although Michael said he didn't blame him, I was still extremely annoyed.
Damn it! What an idiot! He shouldn't have come if he couldn't handle it.
But since this incident led Michael to discover my identity and still like my mermaid tail, I decided not to hold it against him. The live broadcast resumed, and the online rumors subsided. The director arranged a lavish beach barbecue to calm everyone down. John claimed he felt unwell and returned to the tent, with David taking care of him. The rest of us enjoyed the food and drinks.
When I saw the recording, I was scared to death when Lily jumped in after him.
I have a free diving license. Normally, we'd wait for professional rescue, but the situation was urgent, so I didn't think much.
Good thing you're both okay.
I heard a bit about Mr. John's sea accident 4 years ago. Was it David who saved him?
Michael glanced at me. I didn't notice and poured him a cup of cold water. After a while, the assistant called me over. I put down my meat skewer and followed her to the small cabin. The assistant handed me my phone.
Lily, do you want to see how to handle this online situation?
I took my phone, unlocked it, and opened Weibo. The trending topic about Michael falling into the sea had mostly been removed. Now, the top trending topic was about me and John. I quickly read through it and couldn't help but laugh.
It's fine, I'll handle it myself. That's good. The director was worried you hadn't seen it and that it would be too late by the time you did.
After the assistant left, I selected a photo from my album, edited the Weibo post, and was about to publish it when the door to the cabin opened. I looked up and saw Michael. His face was slightly flushed, and his gaze was dark and intense, his steps unsteady. I hurried over to support him.
What's wrong? Did you drink?
Lily, don't like him.
What? I didn't understand.
He leaned in, kissing me gently.
I'm better than him, richer than him, and I love you more. I even know your identity. Don't like him.
I seemed to understand who Michael was talking about. I helped him stand properly.
Did you see the trending topic on Weibo?
Michael was silent for a moment, then hugged me tighter.
Let me show you a photo.
What photo?
I opened my phone, and the screen lit up with a photo of a cold profile.
That's me.
A few days ago, I went to the airport. Someone released a comparison of the times John and I entered and exited the airport, making it look like I was deliberately following him. Online comments now suggest that I still have feelings for John, and that my apparent dislike for him on the show was just a tactic to attract his attention. David's fans accused me of trying to seduce John's good friend Michael, saying I would do anything to get what I want. A few minutes later, I updated my Weibo.
Realizing unspoken love, it has already seeped into the bones. Picture.
The photo's background was also at the airport, but the main subject was Michael, with his clear and handsome features. That day was when he returned to the country, and John went to the airport to pick him up. In the picture, only a corner of John's clothes was visible. As soon as the statement was released, marketing accounts followed up.
Reposting at Sophia. Let's dig into this. Regarding the airport time comparison photos circulating online, I want to talk about 3 years ago. As everyone knows, Sophia joined Huiwa 3 years ago, and John and Michael have been childhood friends. At that time, Michael hadn't gone abroad yet. It was only after rumors about Sophia and John started that he decided to leave the country. 3 years later, on the day the marketing account released the airport photos, it was the day Michael returned. John went to the airport to pick him up. Sophia said, realizing unspoken love, it has already seeped into the bones. For 3 years, she was waiting for her beloved to return. Fortunately, true love prevailed. P.S. Here's some insider info. The biggest investor behind Love You is not John, but Fingxing. The owner behind Fingxing is Michael. Who he came for, you all know.
With this revelation, the content became clear.
Sophia and Michael have always been in love with each other.
No wonder, from the beginning of the show, I felt a strong vibe between them. Only mutual affection can create such longing glances.
Those who insulted Sophia, why aren't you barking now?
Some fans didn't expect this. Sophia never cared about your brother-in-law. She has always loved his good friend Michael.
Online opinions quickly reversed. Those who had insulted me either quietly deleted their comments, sent private apologies, or remained silent. For those who stayed silent, I didn't hold back and sent legal notices. I had previously been too lazy to deal with it, but those rumors had caused Michael to misunderstand my feelings for John for so many years. 3 years ago, I approached John because Michael was hard to get close to. I thought I could take a roundabout approach, but it only pushed him further away. He ended up leaving the country and secretly followed the rumors about John and me for so long. It was incredibly painful. John appeared at the door of my and Michael's room in the middle of the night, looking furious and agitated. As soon as he saw me, he grabbed my wrist tightly.
Sophia, 4 years ago when I fell into the sea, was it you who saved me?
I didn't expect him to ask that. I shook off his hand.
Mr. John, did you come here in the middle of the night just to ask this?
Tell me, was it you?
So what if it was?
Hearing my answer, John became even more agitated.
Why? Why didn't you tell me all these years? Why did you let me be deceived by David for so long? Why didn't you tell me the truth?
What does it matter to me if you mistook someone else? Do I have an obligation to tell you the truth?
If I had known it was you, I would never have treated you that way. Sophia, I've realized that I like you. Will you come back to me?
My face remained indifferent.
If what you like is just your savior, I can help you find the rescue team leader who gave you CPR back then.
No, it's you I like. I've always remembered your eyes. From the first moment I saw you, you felt familiar. If it weren't for David, I wouldn't have made a mistake. Lily, come back. I promise I'll treat you well this time.
There was a camera at the door of the small room that hadn't been turned off. Night owls were still watching the live stream, and John's words were all recorded.
What is John talking about? The person who saved him from drowning was Lily, and he mistook someone else.
David deceived him and pretended to be his savior.
John's affection is so cheap. Would he have liked anyone who saved him, even if it was a pig?
And David let Lily be scolded for so long without doing anything. And now he talks about deep feelings.
Scumbag, get lost. Lily belongs to Michael.
Revive, revive, never give up.
John tried to grab my hand again, but I slapped it away.
Lily.
Michael, who had been woken up, came out from behind me. He glanced at John, then pulled me into his arms, ignoring John's furious gaze.
John, your so-called deep feelings mean nothing to me. Did you really think I liked you because of those rumors?
So all these years, you stayed by my side, occasionally asking about Michael. Was it all because of him?
What else did you think was worth putting up with you for so many years?
John looked at Michael with red eyes, gritting his teeth.
A brother's partner is off limits. Is this how you treat me, Michael?
If Michael had any regard for their childhood friendship before, it was now completely gone.
John, do I need to remind you? Your partner is David. And Lily is now my partner, my future wife. Watch your words.
John's face turned ashen, like a lost dog. A dramatic scene came to an end, and John left the show overnight. David and John's relationship fell apart after the scandal, and John broke up with him ruthlessly. Without John's protection, David's dark past abroad was exposed. His promiscuity and a terminated pregnancy before returning to the country left him with no chance of recovery. The fallout from makeup did not affect the show's continued filming, as the biggest investor was still Michael. Later, Michael retweeted my Weibo post from his alternate account. Never fail to reciprocate love. At Sophia. Soon, this account was verified as belonging to the boss of Fingxing. Fans dug deeper and found that this account had been following me since I first opened my Weibo 3 years ago, with comments on every post.
I'm dying from the sweetness, everyone.
Aw, is this an official announcement?
Glad I didn't miss it.
In the final episode of the dating show, the director gave us the task of having the male partner prepare a grand date for the female partner.
Why can only the guys prepare dates for the girls? Can't the girls surprise the guys?
The director was speechless.
Fine, fine, whatever you say.
So, I became the only female guest to prepare a surprise for her male partner. After making all the preparations, I took Michael to the sea where I first met him, inviting him to watch a rainbow fish tide at sunset and dance with dolphins. For years ago, Michael and John went sailing. John insisted on showing off his swimming skills, but cramped up due to insufficient warm-up. At that time, I had just come of age and was allowed to swim to the surface. The human yacht caught my eye as soon as I emerged from the water. Michael was leisurely fishing on the deck, relaxed yet elegant, the most handsome person on the entire ship. The first human I saw was him. A mermaid's love begins with love at first sight. Our mermaid tribe has a legend that the first human a mermaid sees is her destined partner, and she will fall in love with him uncontrollably. Mermaids are deeply affectionate but also tragic. If their love is unrequited or betrayed, they will eventually turn into sea foam. But I knew Michael would never let me down. We wandered around and came ashore, where a flashy sports car was parked on the beach. Michael stopped me, hesitant to speak. He probably guessed what I was about to do, his expression somewhat complex.
I clapped my hands, and the front trunk of the sports car opened automatically. Inside were not the 9,999 red roses the audience expected.
I looked at him expectantly. Here are 9,999 pearls. From the moment I first saw you, I started collecting them. Do you like it? Mermaids express their love by preparing a nest made of pearls and gold for their beloved. My love nest is built under the sea, already completed. When the time is right, I'll take Michael to see it.
Yes, I like it.
A year later, I got married to Michael. The moment Michael received the marriage certificate, he posted it on Twitter.
Thank you, everyone. We are married.
The comments poured in.
Ah, my favorite couple finally got married. Michael moves fast. 3 days to get a girlfriend. 3 months to meet the parents. 1 year to get married. Are you planning to have kids next?
He confidently replied.
No, we are not having children.
I was drinking water when I saw his reply and choked. I asked him.
Why are you so sure? Do you not like kids?
Michael put down his phone and patted my back, speaking casually.
It's not that I don't like kids.
Then why did you say we won't have any?
Michael looked puzzled by my question.
Isn't there reproductive isolation between humans and mermaids?
I was silent for a moment, then placed his hand on my lower abdomen.
Isn't it possible that we already have one?
Michael's eyes widened as he slowly looked at me. How deep was his misunderstanding? He probably regretted it deeply by now.